All right. Welcome, Steeler Nation. What's happening? And thank you for tuning in to the Terrible Towel post-game show. I am your host, SimFBallCritic, and we're going to talk about this Colts versus Steelers game at Heinz Field, which I actually attended. All right, so I'm just going to wait a few moments for a few of you guys to get up in here, and then we'll get it cracking as I'm watching this New England game, man. What a surprise. What a surprise. Baltimore Ravens are taking care of business. Again, any given Sunday, right? That's why we can't sit around and wait for other teams to do things for us. So I'm going to just wait a few moments, allow a few of you guys to get up in here, and then we'll get right to it. As I said, I'm watching got the Patriots-Ravens game here. To my right. Looks like I'm looking to you guys' left. Yeah. But anyway, man, what's happening? How's everybody doing, man? How's everybody doing? I hope you guys are feeling good, feeling great. Of course, we're a little bit late tonight. Most of you guys know why. I attended the game. This is the reason why we're coming on late tonight. And yeah, I'm exhausted. You probably see it in my eyes. I am exhausted. I'm going to try to run through this thing as fast as possible, man. Hopefully it's not a long show tonight. But we'll definitely have at it. So 1 second, guys. Let me see what Brady's doing here on 3rd and 10. Ball got, oh my God. Picked off by Earl Thomas. Earl Thomas is running with that thing. Any given Sunday, folks. But anyway, enough of the Ravens, enough of the Patriots. All we can do is handle our business, take care of business. What we did today. Very ugly game, but we're going to talk about it. But before I jump into it, let's talk to you guys for a moment. Let's see who all is in here. What's up to Michael Garman, Ali Howard, Jared Devil, Steel Gunplay, Joseph Delaviccia, Y Diggy, Casey Silver, Tristan Cooper, Kegels Bagels, ED2 Drippy Carter, User Hitstick, Rashia Brown, Eli Coolin, Bob, and I'm not going to say that. I'm not going to say what his name is, and I don't know who he's talking about. But you know what we're going to do for you, Bob? We're going to go ahead and ban you. Coming here with that type of language and looks like you're directing it towards me. We're going to get you out of here. We're going to get you out of here. All right, we're going to get you up out of here. But all right, man, let's get started. Let's get cracking. What's up to my good brother Kenyon is in the building. My brother Tony should be in the building in a moment as well. Man, where shall we start? As I'm looking over my notes here. Ugly football game, folks. Very, very ugly football game by the Pittsburgh Steelers for quite a few reasons. An ugly win is a win. We'll take it. We'll take it. And it was very nerve-wracking. It was very unsettling. Nerves were not at ease. It was heart attack football. It was cardiac arrest football. All of the above. As we're sitting in that stadium, myself and my cousin Floyd had a great experience. Had a good time. It was fun, but it wasn't a good experience in terms of watching this back and forth, and yeah, very ugly start, and it ends with a very ugly ending, but in our favor. So let me get a sip of water, guys. And then we'll get right to it. Shout outs to this guy Bob for donating 99 cents. But please keep your language down, man. I don't know who you were talking to when you were saying what you said, so don't do it again, because if you do, I gotta let you go. But anyway, where should we start? Let's start with one of the more popular topics I'm seeing already. Gotta go here. I gotta go here. You guys know I like to always look at the debates amongst the coaching staff and things of that nature. So I've got to talk about what I'm already seeing out there, and even by some media pundits. Let's talk about Mike Tomlin in those last 2 minutes or so. We will address that first, right? Then we'll talk about the game a little bit. So Mike Tomlin challenges what looked to be incidental contact on a defensive pass interference against Nelson, right? The coach took a deep shot down the field, about 40, 50 yards, whatever it was. Their feet kind of get tangled up. there was some contact there, but both guys were kind of looking for the ball. In my opinion, not being a homer looked like a bogus call to me. They challenged it, which was the right thing to do there. We don't get it. What you gonna do? Okay, what you gonna do? You got to play another down. Later on in that drive, may have been a play or two after that. Looks like offensive pass interference on number 14, I believe it was, and I can't remember who that is. I don't know his name. Listen, I'm a Steelers fan, not a Colts fan. Looks like he pushed off. Now, the interesting thing about it is the replays that you guys probably saw on TV. They didn't do a good job of showing the whole play to its entirety. They basically showed the part in which both guys turned around, so you really couldn't see the push. But when they finally showed it to you guys and what we saw live at the game, it was a push-off. Mike Tomlin challenges it. Some people are in an uproar. Why are they in an uproar? Well, at that time we had 2 timeouts. And I think the 2-minute warning may have been on our side at that moment. I can't quite remember what the timing was, but either way, we lose that timeout. We may have been under the 2-minute warning. I don't remember. But either way, if you get down to 1 timeout, that is not going to be a good look, being that your opponent, all they have to do is kick a field goal, doesn't save a lot of time for your offense, etc., etc. Time management, we all know how that goes. But here's the thing. I'm going to make 2 interesting points here. Yes, you got to say that you got to acknowledge the fact that the NFL and this rule of being able to challenge pass interference has not been pretty. It doesn't appear like things are being overturned. It seems like guys are going and sticking with the call on the field. It seems like it's a waste of time. And that was the sentiment by most fans. But at the same time, in that situation, you're desperate. Okay? You're desperate. It looks like the Colts are driving. Again, they only have a field goal that they have to kick to win the game. Why not pull out your challenges? I understand the point of, well, they're not going to give it to us anyway. I get that. I fully get that, and I fully agree. But you got to try something at this point. It looks like the defense is falling apart. You have to try something. And that's why I don't know if I can say that it was stupid. Here's another reason why I would say, in my opinion, it might not have been stupid. I don't think anybody was confident in our offense, even if we got the time back, that we're going to drive it down the field and score a touchdown. Not the way that offense was looking. And we're going to get into that. Oh, we're going to get into that. So I would say all that to say this. It's very easy for us to judge in favor of or not in favor of with any situation, but we're not in that situation. We don't know all of the factors. We don't know what all goes into the factors of making a decision. So that's why I'm just not in the business of always, criticizing every single thing that our coach does. I'm not worried about other teams. I'm just saying, you can't win for losing. Was it the best timing? Like I said, if you lose a time out there, it's going to hurt you because you're only down to 1. Yes. It's not good to lose a challenge at that time, but I kind of feel like, yes, it did look like it was offensive pass interference. Why not challenge it? But then on the flip side of that, they're not overturning these things. So it's almost like, a lot of people's argument was they're not going to call it anyway, so you're wasting it. But it's kind of like, so what are we to do? Even as any coach in the league, are you just going to give in to the fact that they're just never going to overturn it? Or are you going to at least try and keep putting examples out there that might actually improve this rule next year if it stays? I don't know. I don't know the answer to that. I just wanted to speak on that because I've been seeing that going on and on, online. Even Alex Kazura said it was a stupid challenge. And everyone's entitled to their opinion. I'm just saying that was kind of a tough spot. I don't know, what do you do in that situation if you are a head coach? Do you try to throw something at the wall and hope it sticks because it looks like the opposite team is going to drive down the field and get a field goal attempt? Or do you accept the fact that they're just not going to overturn it? I don't know. I don't know. That's just my opinion. I don't know. But let's get into this football game, because that's what you guys came here to see, right? I'm going to talk about a few sequences, all right? I can't analyze it the same way I normally analyze it because being at the game, my notes is different. My viewpoint is different. My vantage point of what's happening on the field is different. There's not a lot of me analyzing this. There's not a lot of replays for me to analyze, so it's a lot more difficult for me to go in complete depth. You know, this is a situation where I definitely have to wait until I get the All-22 to see multiple facets. Even though where we were sitting, beautiful, beautiful view. We're right in the middle, and we're up high. I always prefer to do that. You know, I've sat in the 100 section, I've sat in the 200 section, and I've sat in the 500 section. And I'm here to tell you, for you guys who've been to Heinz Field, I love being up there. I love being up high more than I love being close because your vantage point is phenomenal, right? So we sat in the 534 section, right in the middle on the home side of the field. And it's crazy because you're able to see when guys come open. You're able to see it. There were so many times when guys were open, particularly in the seam, and Rudolph just didn't get it to him. Now, what I'm going to have to go back and look at is whether or not the offensive line was giving him time. I don't know because I wasn't able to view the line as well as looking at the other things, the other perspective, you know, being there. But let me get into the sequences, man. I'm rambling a little bit. Juju drops a ball on 3rd and long and turned into an interception by the Indianapolis Colts. And I believe that was on the first drive of the game. We did actually hold to a field goal, but that was a very, very important sequence. One being might shake the confidence of Mason Rudolph. Another reason I'm thinking it might dictate how Randy Fichtner is going to call the game going forward. A lot of different things went through my mind at that point. And most important of all, an interception means the other team takes a possession away from you and there's no opportunity for points. Thank God we held them to an interception, to a field goal. See, I told you guys, I'm tired. I'm tired. I've been up since 7 o'clock. Me and Floyd went to the game. I'm 3 hours away from Pittsburgh. Took us about 3 hours and 15 minutes, give or take some traffic. We get there. We're there all day. Then you're in your traffic coming back. We have to make a stop to get gas, got a little something to eat. And now we finally got home about an hour ago. I'm drained. So bear with me tonight, guys, for even still doing the show tonight. I was going to postpone and wait until tomorrow, but I said, listen, I'm committed to you guys, and I said that I would bring you a show tonight, so here it is. So if it's not my best effort, you guys have to understand and have to excuse the situation. What I saw on that play, man, is more of the same from Mason Rudolph. He's late on his throws, man. Even on that play, Juju was a little bit surrounded by about 2 guys, maybe a third if you want to count the safety over the top. It's a makeable play. You know, Juju has to catch that. It hit him in his hands. You know, it hit him in his hands. It was a tad bit high. He didn't have to jump for it, but he kind of had to reach up for it. Hits you right in your hands, you're supposed to catch it. That one, you got to put on Juju, but again, not the best throw as far as decision, and also Rudolph is so late on his throws. Guys, there were so many times, man, just like last week, where the fans, even in the stands, because you guys heard a lot of booing on TV, I'm sure. The fans were getting uneasy, man, because it was so many times where we're screaming, he's open, he's open. Rudolph doesn't see him. The seams. Vance McDonald lived in the seams, guys. Lived in it. I mean, there's so many times that I can remember looking at, and I'm like, dude, did he even look at Vance McDonald? Wide open, down the middle of the field. There were times when Juju was coming wide open, coming across the middle of the field. Even a time, I think it was I want to say it was in the 4th quarter, it might have been in the 3rd, Juju was even a little pissed. Throws his hands up, walks calmly to the sideline, did the angry unstrap, you know, didn't bring it to the quarterback or anything. You know, he showed his frustration in the right way. Just a little irritated. But that's because he was wide open. And I promise you, I'm going to find plays. You can book it. Take it to the bank. I will have plays on Tuesday where I'm showing you situations when Vance McDonald was naked out there. But naked open. Mason Rudolph never saw him. Sticking with Mason Rudolph, man, let me go ahead and talk about this. Again, me personally, I still think it's too early to call it on Mason Rudolph. I'm one of those people that like to see a full season. Maybe 6, 7, 8 games to really get the nitty-gritty of what the guy's going to offer us this year. I say that because, again, we still have to remember he's a second-year player. You know, he's learning on the job, if you will. You know, you got to give him a chance to see if he will develop. Will he be better next year? I still can't call it. I don't know if he's Ben's heir, because you have to remember this too, guys, while everybody is saying get rid of Rudolph, and I'm looking at this Ravens game again. It looks like the Ravens are already in plus territory. So let me go ahead and cut this game off, man. There's only 6 minutes left. The Ravens are going to beat the Patriots, so we didn't gain a game on them. And again, like I said, this is the reason why I don't worry about what other teams are doing. Worry about what we can do. We can't sit around and expect, oh, well, the Ravens are going to play these guys or play those guys any given Sunday. Any given Sunday. Just like they handed it to the Patriots tonight, look at how close our game was with the Ravens, which we probably should have won. So you just never can tell. But anyway, let's get back on course. With Rudolph, again, I'm not at a point where I can call what this guy's going to be. Remember, next year, he's going to be a backup to Ben Roethlisberger. So if we're talking about a backup quarterback, I have no problem with allowing this guy to continue to get opportunities to see if he can develop while he's here. And if he hasn't fully developed and we're not fully comfortable with him 2 years from now, of course you move on. But I don't know why everyone is so up in arms about get rid of him and all of this jazz. Like, we're talking about a guy who is replacing our franchise quarterback for the season. Nobody ever said that Rudolph is going to be the heir. And definitely for you Duck Hodges fans, do y'all really think that guy's going to be the heir? I'm just saying. I'm still waiting to see who this guy's going to develop to be. But he has some problems, man. And what I'm seeing right now in these last 2 games at least, he doesn't appear to be confident. He just doesn't appear to be confident in what he's seeing. Or maybe he's not seeing. I mean, today we was just check down, check down, check down, check down. And I know at home, a lot of you guys have probably felt like it was more Randy Fichtner. And Randy Fichtner's not off the hook. Because some of these plays were built in. You know, some of the swing routes or some of the motion, the juju, some of the checkdowns were built-in plays. But, man, if you could see what we were able to see at the game, that you got guys running wide open in the seams, you got to start looking at the quarterback now. You come to the sideline. You look at the surface. You're reviewing your film on the Microsoft Surface, right? You should be able to know, wow, I had him right there. I need to tighten that up. I need to look for that on the next go. And we never really saw it materialize. Even on the play that he hit to James Washington deep down the field when we desperately needed it, he was late on that throw and underthrow. You get that ball out in front, maybe Washington has an opportunity to score. Maybe. Can't never tell. But he was a little late on that. You know, we seen it from early. We seen that Washington was open. Winds up, throws it out there, puts it where it needs to be, but it's a little short. Washington makes a big play. We desperately needed that. But look at what happened when we pushed the ball down the field. It's almost like he reverted backwards from what he was doing last week. And I don't know. I don't know what it is. Maybe that first interception had him gun shy. I don't know. But that's my segment on Mason Rudolph. He has a lot of growing to do, man, if he's going to, you know, be anywhere close to what we're hoping he's going to be as a number 2 quarterback. We're not talking about air yet. Another sequence. Trey Edmonds had a phenomenal game, man. In my opinion, I think he was 12 carries for 73 yards, 6.1 average. You know, like Mike Tomlin said at the end, he got a little banged up, but this guy had a decent game. You know, he was the better of the two in terms of running the football. Jalen Samuels obviously was the better of the two receiving the football with 13 receptions. Yeah, let me repeat that. 13 receptions to Jalen Samuels for, I believe, 74 yards, if I remember correctly. Yes, 13. 1-3 for your running back. This is my point when I talk about Rudolph and the lack of what Rudolph was unable to do. It's not good. That is not a good performance. If it worked, great, but still, I don't want my running back with 13 receptions a game. I would not like that. But yeah, so Trey Edmonds goes for 40 yards. Steelers get down to the 2 and inches on the goal line, and we refuse to run the quarterback sneak. Do y'all remember that? We got to within inches, and we still refuse to sneak it. Instead, the Steelers have to settle for 3. That was huge. That was a huge turn of events. Should have been a touchdown. Why not try to sneak it? Why not try to run it straight up the wazoo? Bring Nix in there and no stretch, none of that. Go right up the middle. You're on the inch line. Bring in the beef, jumbo set, run it right up the middle, or quarterback sneak it. Why are we so afraid of the sneak? And we heard some rumors last week. Supposedly Randy Fichtner said that, I think he did say something to the effect of Mason Rudolph could check to another player if he wants. All I know is nor him nor Randy Fichtner elected to go with a sneak when you got a 42-year-old man in the NFL right now who does sneaks anytime. He needs a first down. That was a rough sequence right there. So let's talk about the first series after the second half. Steelers give up 17 yards on a 3rd and 19. Y'all remember that? Then the Colts pick up the 4th and 2. But the Steelers would later get a sack on 4th and 4. I was about to say his name, but you know what? Let's take a pause right here and let's give this guy a round of applause, and I'm going to tell you who I'm talking about. Give me a second. Round of applause first. Who am I giving my round of applause to? Bud Dupree. Let me say it again. And I'm picking with my good buddy Kenyon here. Guys, I think for now, he has the opportunity to lose it again, but I think for now, I might have to call him Bud, man. I might have to call him Bud, and that's why you see him as my thumbnail there. I might have to call him Bud on pass rush as well as running game. He played a great game today. There's no doubt about that. 2 sacks, had a couple sacks for tackles for loss, was getting pressures, was getting hits. The man Bud played. Now I'm not gonna go stud yet, Christian. I'm not going stud yet. No. Not yet. Give me a few more of those and maybe we'll call you stud. But we got a lot more to talk about when it comes to Bud Dupree. We'll save that for another show. But listen, I told you guys, when guys could show me something, they can earn their name back with me. You know, I know that it runs deep with Kenyon, and I know where his anger and angst comes from. I know, because I feel the same way. Why couldn't he play like this for all of these seasons? Maybe have a rough rookie season, but at least after that, why hasn't he not been able to be this guy that we're seeing this season, his whole career? That's where a lot of us get ticked off with Mr. Dupree, with number 48. But today, he earned his name back for me. We will see if he keeps his name. Because as good as he earned it today, I can take it right away from him again next week. But from now on, for this week, into Terrible Towel Tuesday, even into the pregame show next week, he's Bud. He'll be Bud. Now we'll see if he ends up being Dud or if he elevates to Stud. We shall see. But the boy played a great game, man. Great game by Bud Dupree. And like I said, on that series, he got that sack on 4th and 4 or tackle for loss, whatever it was. I wrote sack, but, you know, again, I'm at the game wilding and texting and trying to make my notes. But he was able to get that, and that was a great series. Now here's another series that helped us out. Mason Rudolph. I say helped us, but I promise I'm going to get to the help part. Let's talk about the negative first. Mason Rudolph takes a sack in the end zone. Gives up a safety. Now, you guys saw it on the TV as well as myself and Floyd saw it in real life. You know, in person. This guy double clutches, pump fakes in the end zone, and then proceeds to drift back and run about 5 yards and gets sacked and gives up the safety. What in the world was he doing there? Now, mind you, when that happened, we have been screaming at him, us and many Steelers fans around us, for holding the football too long. So what do you think we all did and everybody did when he did that? Yes, you guessed it. Laid him out. Screaming, booing, as you guys heard. You can't do that in that situation, sir. I understand you're young, but bruh, you just can't. The pump fake alone, which if you're pumping and then you're going to let it go right now, okay. But the fact that you pumped it the way you did and then tried to scramble in the end zone, throw it away. Live another day. Live another down. Oh, but I did tell you guys that it helped us. We give up 2 points. But then Barry booms the kick, the free kick. We're able to go down there. And I believe it was, I think it was Jordan Dangerfield. I think that's who did it. Or it might have been Trey Edmonds. One of those guys making a great play. Caused the guy to fumble. We get the ball back. But once again, we're held to a field goal. No touchdown there. Got to create more points on turnovers. Needed a touchdown in that moment, but we didn't get it. We got 3. But at least the safety only cost us, what? You know, it was like a 1-point swing, kinda. You know what I mean? They get 2, we get 3. But very, very weird sequence. Here's another one. 3rd and 8 in the 4th quarter. Cam Hayward misses a tackle on Hoyer. He scrambles for 6. Y'all remember that? Cam had him in his clutches. Got loose, scrambled for 6. At that point, it was 2 yards to go. It's 4th and 2. Steelers were up 23-18. And the Colts are able to score on that drive. They went for it on 4th and 2, picked it up, and they were able to score on that drive. Had Cam Hayward made the tackle, I don't believe they're going for it there. And there's more points that we could shave off of the scoreboard. Who knows what would have happened in that situation? Maybe a missed field goal. Pun intended. We'll get to that. So here's another one. I talked about here, we finally go downfield and we connect with James Washington. But this was horrible. Let me repeat. Horrible clock management by Randy Fichtner as well as Mason Rudolph. And if Tomlin had a hand in this, I'll throw him in it too. But I'm going to put if not all of the blame on Fichtner and Rudolph, because one is calling the play, the other is executing. Let me tell y'all what happened after that deep shot to Washington. It was 7 minutes and 30 seconds left, I believe. Might have been like 32 seconds. On 1st down, sniffing the end zone, We go on an empty set. Empty. Incompletion. Stops the clock. We then come back and we run a stretch play. And I believe we were really close. If I'm not mistaken, we were at about 5-4, something like that. Very close. Y'all remember this sequence. Fourth quarter. Just above, a little over 7 minutes left. We run the stretch. It gets blown up. Then on third down, we come right back again, throw another pass, and it's incomplete. Steelers have to settle for a field goal. But what did that do? That, my friends, kept a ton of time on the clock. Why are you going empty set in that situation with the time that was left on the clock? Run the football. Run the football. Actually, I don't think we were that close. I think we were at about the 8 or 9 because there was a little bit of room to get to the end zone. But run the football. I would run the football in that situation on first and second because you can eat the clock. You could probably take up to 2 minutes off the clock. You get it down to 5 minutes instead of leaving so much time on the clock. Ridiculous. Come on, Fichtner. What are you doing? What are you doing? And you're going to put your trust in Rudolph in that situation? Even though Rudolph did a good job on the opposite side of the field, I believe in the second quarter when he found Vance McDonald, finally. We went empty set in that situation as well, and he was able to find Vance McDonald for the touchdown. But again, the way he had been playing from a quarterback position, I'm not putting my trust in him at that moment. So, last but not least, another huge swing in this game. And I know some of y'all probably thought I won't go talk about it. His name is Minkah Fitzpatrick. Minkah Fitzpatrick. The Pittsburgh Steelers' first round draft pick of 2020 goes to Minkah Fitzpatrick. Round of applause. What can you say? This boy has showed up. 4 interceptions on the year. This one for 96 yards and a touchdown. Playing center field, how he, didn't have a lot of blades of grass to defend, but how he basically reads the quarterback eyes, jumps in front, off to the races. 96 yards. Huge swing of the game because at that point we tied the game up. Well worth the first round pick that you guys think we're going to have in 2020. I'm sorry. Just my opinion. I'm not saying I'm right, but I'm just explaining to you why I feel like it was well worth it. The Pittsburgh Steelers will need safety help. We definitely know that. With Sean Davis injured and Sean Davis not being extended, chances are we were not going to re-sign Sean Davis. We're probably going to let him walk. Right? Okay? So the Steelers would have to go into the draft, probably in the first round, very early in the draft, and try to find a free safety, a rookie who would have to start. Now, you hope for a guy like Delpit. Maybe you don't get him. But maybe you miss on that, and then you still can't get a safety until later on in the draft. We just got our guy early. Minkah Fitzpatrick is a difference maker on this football team, and I am good. I am good because we went out and got a secondary player that we were going to have to draft anyway. We will have him for 4 years. That's all I got to say about it. This is my opinion. And this dude's worth and his value has shown up in these little amount of games that he's played in. What more can you ask for? Outstanding, outstanding, outstanding. But that's it, man. I didn't mean to ramble so long, guys, and I'm going to just be honest with you guys, man. I am super tired. The travel to the game and back, don't have a lot of time, man. I'm going to take some of the calls here. I need you guys to be quick. I need you to be quick. If you're not quick, I'm going to have to mute you and go on. In and out. Please, please, please. I don't want to cut anybody off, but I can't spend much more time I am on fumes right now. But again, for you guys who come in late, I went to the game today with my cousin Floyd that I talk about often here. He's in the chat sometimes. We had a wonderful time, man. It was just a tough game to watch because we just didn't know how it was going to go. You know, I live 3 hours away from Pittsburgh. We left here at about 7:30. You know, I've been up since 7 o'clock. We get up there, we leave the game, we stop off for gas, get a little something to eat. You know, and after you hang out at the stadium and all of that, we just got back home probably about 9:45-10ish. So I'm drained. And yes, I have to get up and work in the morning. So there you have it. But let's get to the calls, man. I want to hear what some of you guys have to say. Please, please, please be mindful. Be fast. Get to your point and get out. First up, area code 626. You are live. What you got for us?
What up, Sam? It's your boy Joe Marcel. Just want to ask, you got to sign one, Hargrave or Dupree? All right, out.
Ooh, man, appreciate the call. I'm gonna answer that. I'm going to answer that. Y'all ain't gonna like my answer. Right now, it's got to be Dupree. Again, before you guys get upset, I explained this on the last show. We don't have no depth at outside linebacker. There's no guarantee we get anybody in the draft. We don't have a first-round pick. Bud Dupree is playing like a serviceable guy opposite TJ Watt. Can we be honest with that? Can we be honest and say that right now Bud Dupree is playing as a serviceable guy opposite TJ Watt? TJ Watt is our stud. I didn't even talk about TJ tonight. We all saw what he did. I didn't even have to give him his flowers. I give him his flowers all the time. We saw what he did. And if Bud Dupree can be that opposite TJ, I'll take that any day of the week. Remember, put my words in context. If Bud Dupree can be what he has been this season, what he was today, probably one of his best games as a pro, as a Steeler. If he can be that on a consistent basis, opposite TJ Watt, sign me up for that. I'll take it. Right now, that's more important than Hargrave, and I love Hargrave, but we're not going to be able to sign either one of those guys, and we might not sign either one of them. You know, what I meant to say, I just doubled my response there. We definitely might not be able to sign both guys. That's what I was trying to say. But we might not sign either one. That's the reality. All right, but thanks for the quick call, man. I'll be quicker on my response. 814, please follow that same format. Quick, in and out. But here we are. What you got for us?
Hey, man, what's up?
What's going on, man?
Hey, how you doing? I thought that Washington, Boswell, I thought that they both had good games. I'm happy with Boswell. In this year, I think we got a good opportunity against the Rams next week. Obviously, stinks that the Ravens are going to win, but I think that we got a chance against them. Steeler Nation.
Absolutely, man. Appreciate the call. I will answer that really, really quick. Washington did step up today. His numbers wouldn't show it, but Washington made a few catches when he needed to. Did the same thing last week. But I think a lot of people are overlooking that he's starting to get more involved now because the numbers are high. I think that's why you overlook it. But you got to pay attention to what you're actually seeing. Washington has made some plays. He made a significant play last week, made a couple plays this week. Maybe he's coming on. Maybe the connection, early in the game. Think about early in the game when he was trying to go to Rudolph. I'm talking backwards. He was trying to go to Washington. Rudolph was trying to find him, and he was connecting. So maybe something is turning the corner. But yeah, we do have a chance against the Rams. I'll talk about that before we wrap up. Area code 412, what you got for us?
Hey, Sam, it's Smitty from Pittsburgh. Two things real quick. You weren't the only one saying that Rudolph was missing Vance McDonald in the midfield. There was beat writers in the booth saying that as well, and I kind of figure fans were doing because he keep on pushing the ball to Jalen Samuels. And they also talked about his football IQ in college wasn't that high in his football awareness. And also, last thing, in my opinion, or in your opinion, do you think Minka Fitzpatrick is a Defensive Player of the Year candidate? He has 30 total tackles, a forced fumble, a fumble recovery, and 4 interceptions, and 1 for a TD. I'll list the answer when you offline. Thanks.
Appreciate it, Smitty, man. And you guys are doing great with the calls, man. So let me match that greatness with my quick response. Yes. I'm glad to hear that other people were saying that. Listen, I'm not the greatest at this thing. I'm just a fan, but I paid close attention. But it's great to hear that other people were seeing the same thing, that we're actually there. Man, Vance McDonald, I'm telling you guys, I'm going to show y'all. And if I don't show y'all, remind me on Tuesday. Say, Sam, show us some of those plays with Vance. I mean, down the seam. And if you guys listen to the Terrible podcast from the Steelers Depot crew, they had a beat writer from the Colts, and he said on that show that their defense was susceptible down the seam. He said you probably could get them there. And it was open. It was open, man. But yeah, Minka could definitely be in that talk, especially after today with the 96-yard touchdown. Yeah, Minka could be in the running for that. He could be. I would not deny that. He definitely could be. Next up, 330. Keep it quick, please. What you got for us? Fam. Do y'all hear this? Bruh. All right, so I want y'all to remember this. And y'all know we have fun here. We like a family. Y'all got to remember this number. 330. We got to get on him the next time he calls in. And I will tell you guys. I will say, this is the 330. Matter of fact, I'm going to write the number down. I don't want to say his number out loud. I'm writing it down. I think I know who this is. So the next time he calls, I'm going to let y'all know this is the guy. We got to give him crap for that. I know my man won't sleep like that. Am I that boring? Wow. Just having fun. That was funny. Area code 404. What you got for us, man?
Hey, Sam. How you doing, man?
Good, man.
It's that last caller, man. That's But anyway, man, I'm sitting here. I hadn't heard the whole show. I just got in on the tail end of it. I heard you talking about Mason Rudolph and some of the things that he got to clean up. My man earlier talked about Minka being Defensive Player of the Year, but you can't overlook my boy 9-0.
Yeah.
DJ Watt.
Yeah.
Man, every game you always tell us that he's going to do something special. And he's just how he plays every game. And I also noticed in the pregame talk, you also said that we have to look for plays down the middle. And just like you're saying, tight ends running free down the middle, I can't understand why our offensive coordinator can't see that, or why Mason Rudolph can adjust to that. So go ahead and speak to that, man. I love your show, man. Take care. And yeah, I love the way you spend time with your family too, man. That's a blessing.
Oh man, that's what's up, man. I appreciate that, man. Yeah, and I like those real life moments right there. Yeah, man. I appreciate that you love that, and I will say that to all of you guys too, man. Make sure if you have family, whether you have kids or a wife, or make sure those things are always first. You know what I mean? And I'm gonna say this, and some of you guys are gonna get it. For people like me, it's very important to show that. You understand what I'm saying? So I'll just leave it there. So let's make sure we always are representing the way we're supposed to be. Family's always first, man. Spend time with your people. You know what I mean? Spend time. But I appreciate you, 404. And yeah, I don't know if it's Rudolph. I don't know if it's Fichtner. One would think that it's not Fichtner only because the play is happening. Vance is running down the seam. Sometimes I saw Vinette was open. It just might be Rudolph. But to be fair to Rudolph, because I was at the game live, honest opinion here. What am I talking about? Not honest opinion. Being honest with you guys. I wasn't really watching the trenches as much as I normally do. See, when I'm watching it from TV, you don't always see the back end. I'm always looking at the trenches. Today, me and Floyd both, I was like, I want to see what our secondary looked like, and I want to see how our receivers are getting open. Y'all know we've been talking about that for a couple of weeks now. That's what I was focusing on. And yes, they were open. So to be fair to Rudolph, I have to go back when I get the film. I got to be fair, and I got to see if he had time. Some of the times we did see it because, you know, you're looking at the back end and you look back down at him and he's still standing in the pocket. And I'm like, let the ball go, fam. Let the ball go. But we'll see. All right, real quick, man. We'll probably take these last 2 calls, man. And guys, you're doing great with the time. So we're going to start with 931. What you got for us, man?
Hey, Sim, what it do, man? It's your boy Roughhouse Boxing TV, bro. Hey, ugly win, but you know what? Ugly dollar spend too, so we'll take it, man. That's what's up, man. Hey, but I got a quick word for the congregation, man. I want everybody to turn with me to the book of Rooney, chapter 19, verse 33, and it reads as thus. It says, and once again he spoke parables unto them, saying, the Pittsburgh Steelers offense is like that 1970 Gremlin, that the man had to go out 30 minutes early than try to start because it takes 8 minutes to crank. And it takes another 13 minutes to warm up on the inside. And with that, I'm going to leave y'all with this thought. It's okay to start fast. I don't know what's going on with our offense, man. We need that new push to start type offense, man, that's going to crank up and go as soon as you push the button. You know what I'm saying? I'm getting tired of sitting out in the cold, patting on the accelerator for 45 minutes. You know what I'm saying? Turning the key, and all I get is over and over. We need something that's going to fire up as soon as we turn the key. Tim, I don't know if it's a manufacturer's defect. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Tomlin, Fichtner. You know what I'm saying? I don't know if it's a component replacement. The defense got Minka Fitzpatrick, and now the defense runs fine. You know what I'm saying? But whatever it is, it's okay to start fast. We need a faster start. And as in terms of the challenges, I was cool with both challenges. Me personally, that's just me.
I was.
But, hey, y'all make sure y'all subscribe to the homeboy Sim because he's putting in that good work. You know what I'm saying? Giving y'all that good content, man. If you're not subscribed to Sim, you're slipping on your pimping. You know what I'm saying? And y'all already know what it is. I am that boy Box. This is Roughhouse Boxing TV, and y'all make sure y'all stop by the house. Just remember to wipe your feet and close the door behind you. And I'm out. G.
Yeah, my man, Roughhouse Boxing. Yo, I love when he comes through. We all, man, Roughhouse, if you can still hear me, we all wait for that slipping on your pimping. You know, you've definitely thrown a coin phrase out there that we all look forward to. But, man, let's talk about that book of Rooney, though. You might have threw a new one on us tonight. That was dope. I love that. The book of Rooney. Yeah, listen, man, you made a good point, and I got to address it really quick. Who's the problem? You know, again, Tomlin is the head man. Tomlin has to take some, a lot of this blame too because he is the orchestrator. You know, of course, we look at the individual components, but again, where I look at Tomlin is allowing these things to happen. So, come on, man. You got to tell Fichtner to get it together. You got to do, I don't know. You got to do something. But if Rudolph don't have it, he might not have it. It might be too early for him. I don't know. But he definitely seems like he just won't stand in there and push the ball down the field. Like he's gunshot sometimes. I love everything else about him. His moxie, his poise at times. But even his poise ain't looking as good. Come on, man. Like my man said, listen. Can we please start fast? It's okay to do that. It's okay to get out fast, even if it is a marathon. So, love that call. Last call of the night, man, and I'm going to call it a night, man. Area code 323. Please keep it quick for me, man. Appreciate your call. What you got for us?
Sam, what's going on, brother? I have to represent California.
How you doing,
man?
Man?
To put it down at the Chargers game. How you guys like that?
Yeah.
Hey, listen here, man. Patriots not going to do us any favors.
Yeah.
We basically playing against the rest of the AFC, so it's one game at a time. Don't get too high, don't get too low, and just let the Steelers be the Steelers, man. Things will fall through for us. I see a lot of the comments in the chat, and people really need to take it easy, man. But just go ahead and support the boys for who they are, and just know they're gonna come through for us. Hey, no one's talking about the elephant in the room, man. What is the deal with Chicolo?
Yeah.
I'm leaving with that.
Man, I appreciate your call, man. I'm definitely going to chime in on that really quick. Listen, man, Chicolo, let me just make sure I didn't miss anything about him really quick. You know, I think you're just talking about his whole situation and, you know, how he's playing. For everybody that doesn't know, I'll say this really quick. You know, Anthony Chicolo, guys, you know he had the little domestic dispute situation. However, the case got withdrawn, so Chicolo was able to be brought back. We brought him back relatively quickly. Again, identifying the lack of depth at outside linebacker, which is another reason why Bud Dupree we might talk to him and try to get him signed. But it gets withdrawn. We bring him back. He plays, but he's not really, you know, he's just a guy. You know what they call it? A jag? Just a guy. And it's sad because I've rooted for Chicolo since day one. I thought he just looked like the type of guy that could turn into like the Beard. You know, could kind of be like Kiesel or maybe turn into like an Aaron Smith. And maybe not as good, but he just seemed like he was one of those guys that had a little nastiness to him. So I looked forward to him. You hear about him in camp, and I'm thinking, this dude's going to have a season at some point. It has never materialized. At this moment, sad to say, you know who else we're not hearing about? Another elephant? Ola. When both of those guys were out there, I didn't see pressure really happening. I ain't hear nobody's name get called. It got to the point where Floyd sitting right beside me was like, why are we taking TJ out? Them dudes gotta get a breather. But our backups aren't giving us much. And again, it's not about sacks. Sometimes it's just about pressure. I don't see it, man. Chicolo is a jag. He's just a guy. And Ola appears to be, you know, whatever. Tough situation we're in, man. But that's the whole scenario with Chicolo. And again, unless I missed something else. But I think that's what you were referring to, my man. So, yeah. The charges were dropped, and there you have it. Hopefully he keeps his hands off his woman going forward. I'm going to check something real quick, guys. Hold on real quick. I was checking to see if 330 was still snoring, and I'm not going to bring that call on, even though you probably heard me with the unmute. Nah, we got to punish you tonight for that one. We got to punish you tonight. But I was checking to see if he was still doing it. But anyway, let's get back, man. A few more minutes here. We actually almost made an hour. We're at 52 minutes. Let me talk a little bit about what my man just said, 323 as well. We have to realize, guys, that and maybe it's easier for me to realize this because as much of a super fan that I am, now I'm doing this semi-journalistic approach and analytical approach with me, you know, kind of reporting on them, doing this podcast, and I look at things a little more objectively. You know, like I don't look at it from my heart. You know, I kind of look at it for what it is. We're not supposed to be here. Those are the facts. It's great that we got back to 500. I love the fight. I love that we still sticking our nose in there, and maybe we'll make a somewhat of a run and stumble our way into the playoff. But we're not supposed to be here. We are not a great team. We're not a rounded team. Even though our defense has carried the weight, there's still not a shut you down type of defense. We just have a defense now that, you know what we have now? Remember what I've been saying for the last couple years, man? Can't we just get a defense that can just make a play when they need to? They ain't got to be shut down. They can be a little bit better than Ben, but a little bit better than bend but don't break. But make some plays every now and then when you need to. That's what we are now. We have guys on the team that are playmakers that are making plays at times when we absolutely need it. But we're not a stifling defense yet. We're not a fearful defense in terms of, nah, they ain't going to get that first down on them. Oh, they got them in a 3rd and 10? Oh, nah, they about to, that's going to be a punt. We're not that defense yet. We ain't supposed to be here. We're improving. And offensively, we are a wreck. We have no identity. We lost our starting quarterback. Whether you love or hate Ben Roethlisberger, that is a huge impact. Because in reality, if you really look at it, we lost AB and Antonio Brown. Did y'all hear that? Did y'all hear what I just said? I told y'all I'm tired. We lost AB and Ben Roethlisberger in the same year. Think about that. Never mind Le'Veon Bell, because we didn't have Bell last year. Let's stay with the recent history. Technically, this season, for the 2019 season, we were without Antonio Brown and Ben Roethlisberger. We're not supposed to even be where we are with a quarterback in Mason Rudolph that we're not quite sure about yet. So I say all that to say this. The expectations, everybody, you know, still saying, oh, we got to do this and get to the play. I just don't have them. It's like my man said, I'm just happy to sit here and watch these guys mature. Watch what Minka has become for us and thinking about, wow, what we got over the next 4 years. Watching guys like Devin Bush coming to maturity, taking some lumps, but he's maturing, getting that experience. Watching a guy like Steven Nelson and seeing what he's probably going to be for us at the cornerback position. Watching TJ Watt now at this point in his career, you know how they always talk about that third year? Beasting. Watching guys like that. Just knowing that, okay, maybe if we could keep this type of defensive tenacity and this efficiency, maybe the window is still open when Ben gets back for his last 2 years. But for this year, like my man said, Patriots ain't do us no favors, and we can't rely on other teams doing us favors. The Ravens had a good plan tonight for the most part. It worked. It worked. But I want to hear all of them people who always chiming in on us, and I got to call out my father-in-law, Leonard. I want to hear from guys like you who always saying how bad Tomlin is and how unprepared he is. What happened tonight to Bill Belichick? Oh, was it a situation where the Ravens just decided they're just going to beat themselves and run the football with handing it off here, a couple of quarterback keeps, some read option? Would you say that they weren't prepared? Would you say that Belichick didn't prepare his team to play? They weren't prepared on Sunday night. You gonna say that about Belichick? Sometimes it just happens. Sometimes a better scheme, they have a better plan in place and they execute it well, and you saw what happened. That's the number one defense we're watching. No way, shape, and form am I comparing Tomlin and Belichick. I hope you guys are not reading it that way. I'm just saying. All of that, they didn't have their team prepared stuff, to me, I don't believe in that. I just don't. I don't always believe in that. Kenya said Chicolo made a few plays today. Okay. I'm gonna have to go back and watch. I didn't see him. Like I said, my perspective is a lot different, man, being at the game. I can't hone in on the trenches. But all right, man, a few more minutes. Let me read what some of you guys got. Throw some comments at me, man. I'm going to be here for maybe another 3 to 4 minutes, if that. What y'all got? The Pokemon says, yeah, Mason isn't going to lead us to the playoffs unless something dramatically changes. I agree with that. The Joker says, Tomlin is the reason we are 4-4 and not 0-8. If the team was coached by Kitchens, they would be worse than Miami. That could be a possibility. Look at all that talent they got over there. Did they lose today? Didn't they lose? They 2-6. Crazy. Cleveland got talent. Then, they got Odell Beckham and Jarvis Landry on the same team at wide receiver. Myles Garrett. That team is loaded with talent. And look at the kaput that they're putting out. Crazy, right? Give me another one. Kyle Smith says, who do the Steelers bring in as a 6th receiver? That's a good question, man. Me and Floyd actually talked about that in the car on the way up. I don't know. At this point, I'm thinking maybe they pull one of the practice squad guys up. I don't see them signing nobody on the outside. You know, if they probably feel like they can get by. You know what I mean? So I don't see it. If it hasn't happened by now, I don't see that. J-Man says, I think the offensive coach do not like Mason to throw the ball to Juju. I don't know if I would say that. You know, he was trying to go to Juju early in the game. Very early. He actually forced it to Juju a few times. Darian Dalton says, it was a very unsatisfying win today. Too much leaning on the defense nearly every game. Got to get 6 instead of 3 and 3 instead of 0 sometimes. I fully agree with you, man. I fully agree with you. It was not a great win. It was a win nonetheless, but it was just not a good feeling about the win. And I don't walk away from that with the same joy at 4-4 that some people have. I looked at it kind of like, remember, if Vinatieri doesn't miss that kick, you know, we're probably talking about how we should have won the game, but our offense didn't produce. That's probably the conversation. Michael Garman says, thank you to YouTuber. He says, I like your videos. I appreciate that. I really appreciate that. Make sure you also take action and hit the like button. That'd be great. Michael Garman says, how do you think our secondary played today? And I didn't even really get into that, man. Mike Hilton got exposed a little bit. Remember that touchdown? I've said this before. Mike Hilton is a liability in coverage in terms of his stature. Coverage is not his strongest suit when he's... It's weird for me to say out on the island because you're never really on an island per se when you're in the slot. But when he's split way out, you know, like where he's literally lined up on the slot, but, you know, he's the second receiver, you know, inward. But he's, you know, it's like a wide split. And it's going to be more of a one-on-one situation. And he's not, you know, playing like a close man. He's manning this guy up. No. He's not a good matchup, folks. He's not. Mike Hilton plays great in close quarters. You know, drag routes and things like that, or, you know, compressed sets. But when they split out and he's lined up over top of a guy, he's not a good matchup. And again, part of it has to do with his stature. And it just is what it is. But the secondary played decent. You know, I don't think they played bad. Joe Hayden made some plays. Joe Hayden made some forceful pass breakups, you know, putting that helmet in somebody's back. They played pretty solid today. You know, they gave up some plays. Again, guys, it's the NFL. But the defense, to me, did their job. They did what they had to do. They got the job done. Salty76 Lax says, maybe it's just me, but Vinatieri hasn't been the same this year. Kind of off topic, but yeah. No, that's not off topic. He hasn't been. True story. I swear to you guys, I just didn't say it out loud. But in my mind, I was like, he's going to miss this kick. But I didn't turn to Floyd, who was on my right, to say it. I didn't turn to the guy who was on the right of him, who was talking to us the whole game. I didn't turn to the left and talk to this guy. I didn't tell the people behind us who were talking. Everybody was kind of mingling. I didn't want to jinx it. But in my mind, I said he's going to miss it because this guy has missed kicks this year. The wind was swirling a little bit. And I just felt good about him missing the kick. Now, when they got a little closer, due to the penalty, I was a little nervous. But I was thinking if it was from 30 or more, you know, like 30-yard line or more that he had to kick from, I was like, he going to miss it. I just didn't say it out loud because that's when you jinx stuff. And he missed it. But, yeah, he has been struggling. Big play, Spice Vault. Remember Mason came out of Oklahoma State. He doesn't have the seam and progression much. That is, hey, see, you know what? Big play, that's what I'm talking about. And I'm glad you said that because not everybody gets those type of things. That's the reason why I say I'm not throwing this man in the trash yet. He's still a young quarterback, guys. We have to see if he will develop. Do y'all remember how much time we gave Landry Jones to see if he would develop? We got to do the same for Mason Rudolph. Again, keep this in mind. He's the backup. He's not supposed to be starting right now. I have no problem with him being a backup. I love the fact that he is playing right now because this year is going to give him tons of experience that he desperately needs. But you have to remember, the dude is still learning on the job. He did not, you know, like my man said, he didn't run this type of offense. You know? A few more, man. And Pokemon, I appreciate the donation, man. Let me give you a round of applause for that. Appreciate that. Appreciate that. All right, man. A couple more comments. I see Floyd is commenting. Floyd, how far you got, man? I was just about to text you, man. How far you got? She should be close to home now. He said still driving. All right, but he said, and by the way, guys, that's Floyd right there who just typed that. That's my cousin, my big brother. And we had a good time today at the game, man. We gonna definitely have to do that much more. He said, I gotta give Terrell Edmonds some love. Edmonds played well today. You know, he did a couple things, made some tackles, got a pass breakup. Edmonds had a decent game today too. I don't feel like that, you know, he was exposed at all, but even Floyd was telling me, Mike Hilton, man. Hilton, got exposed a little bit, man. He's somewhat of a liability out there. All right, so a few more, man. I keep saying that, but you know, I don't want to leave you guys too soon, even though I'm super tired. When are they gonna air it out? Yeah, good question, Victory. Good question. Jamon says, I'm a defensive guy and I run first style of offense and play action. Okay. Rojan says, play Sutton over Hilton. Well, actually, if you pay attention to what actually happens on the game, Hilton mostly comes out. Quite often he comes out in, you know, more or less passing situations. And Cam Sutton takes over his spot as the nickel corner. It happened quite often today as well. So for you guys that may not have recognized that, yes, for the last several weeks, Hilton actually comes off the field at times, and it's when it's a real pass situation, like if it's third and long, third and intermediate, you'll see Sutton play the slot. And that's been happening for several weeks now. Sometimes it doesn't happen because, you know, Butler might employ, like, you know, the normal nickel package, or they may want to blitz or fake the blitz with Hilton. Hilton did get a sack today on the blitz. Matter of fact, what an effort. Y'all remember that sack? What an effort. Blitzes, goes around the guy, gets pushed to the ground, is able to get up and still get the sack. What an effort by Hilton. Like I said, I like this dude as a football player. He's just a liability at coverage. And we've been trying to combat that with bringing Sutton in, but just so happens sometimes, you know, if you don't have the right formation out there, he got exposed. Wade Johnson says, we need to bring back Davis. Who's going to be the backup at the safety next year? Possibly, man, but, you know, Davis, I'm sure, would test the market, and if he has a market that's beyond what we want him to pay, we're going to have to let him walk. But that's a very good question. I don't know what we're doing with Cam Kelly, which, whatever with Cam Kelly. I don't know what we're doing with Jordan Dangerfield, which is whatever with him as well in terms of a decent, you know, defensive snaps. Special teams wise, he's cool. But yeah, I don't know. Oh, Floyd, you was talking about the other Edmonds. Yeah, I talked about him earlier. So maybe I misunderstood your text there. Yeah, Trey Edmonds got off. Trey Edmonds was doing his thing, man. Again, 12 carries for 73 yards. 6.1. He had a pretty decent game, and I think, again, I'm not ready to throw Benny Snell in the trash either, but I think he made a case for himself today to possibly be in rotation a little more. Both of them play special teams. And Edmonds made a play on special teams as well today. But him and Snell are good special teams guys, but the way it's looking, Trey Edmonds is making a case for, at some times, you know, pushing maybe Snell off of the roster. Not off of the roster, but, you know, maybe inactivating Snell for a week and letting Edmonds get burned. So this is very interesting. I think he made a case for himself today. Somebody says Baltimore is looking scary. We'll see. It's kind of a repeat of last year. I think if a team can take the run away from them, and that's way easier said than done, then they're beatable. Think about it. Think about how we played them. And I know it was, you know, a few weeks back, but again, we didn't struggle as bad as even New England did tonight. So I don't think they're scary, but yeah, they could definitely be a little formidable. They might even grow to scary if they keep winning and if they keep beating quality opponents like that. So we'll see. All right, Floyd, that's what's up. You ain't that far from home, so cool, cool, cool. Still let me know when you get home, though. But all right, man, I think we're going to go ahead and get out of here, man. I'm going to shut it down. What a day. What a win. It was ugly, but we got it done. Had a great time, man. And I encourage you guys, if you are in the area, go to a game. You know, if you are within driving distance, go to a game. It is nothing like it. I've been to several, and we just went on a whim. Me and Floyd, like I told you guys the story, we were both searching and looking for ticket prices at the same time. And he texted me, and I was like, wow, I'm actually doing the same thing. We decided, man, let's just go. And we went. It's a phenomenal experience, man, and I enjoy it every single time I go there. There's nothing like watching your team or just a pro football game, period, but actually watching your Steelers live and feeling that energy and feeling the crowd and so many Steeler fans. Everywhere you look, just a sea of Steeler fans. And, you know, we rode the light rail into the stadium, you know, and that's, again, pro tip for any of you guys who go to Heinz Field. Do not park in the parking deck downtown or anywhere close to the stadium and pay $30, $40, $50 to $60. Do not do that. Pro tip. Ride the light rail. The station I go to is First Avenue. It's about 5 or 6 stops to Allegheny. The Allegheny stop lets you out right at the field. It is free to ride, we found out today. During game time, it is free to ride there and ride back. And it is $6 to park in the parking deck for the game at that station. Keep that in mind. Again, if you go to the game, do not pay for parking close to the stadium. They're going to bust you in the head. Go to a train station. I would recommend First Avenue because it's very simple and it's far enough away to where the traffic isn't crazy, even when you leave. First Avenue to Allegheny. It's going to cost you $6. That's it. But all right, man, I'm out of here. If you haven't already, make sure you subscribe to the channel. First and foremost, hit the like button. If you like what you saw tonight, do this. Do this. That's easy. Just hit it. That's easy. It helps me out greatly. You guys have no idea. Let me show you again. Bam. The thumbs up. Just hit it. And also cut on your notifications so you know when the videos are streaming. That's all I ask. And if you guys would like to donate to the cause, thank you to the guys who did that tonight. Again, huge thank you and huge shout out to those of you who have donated via Cash App or via PayPal. If you guys prefer to do it that way, the information is in the description. It's all safe. It's all secure. If you want to do it here on YouTube like some have done tonight, click the $ in the bottom right corner. Greatly appreciate it. And if you feel like you want to do so, I would thank you very much greatly. But outside of that, man, have a good night. Get some sleep. Watch some football tomorrow. Let's kick back and watch some Cowboys and Giants. And we'll see, man. We're 4-4. We're 500 now. Let's see if we can take care of our business. And we'll be back on Tuesday night, 7:30 p.m. Eastern Time for Terrible Towel. I should have footage to show you. I'm going to show you how open Vance was. We'll look forward to the Rams. And there you have it. But let me stop yapping and let me get out of here. Have a good night. Thank you for tuning in. God bless. And I appreciate you checking out the Terrible Towel post-game show. Catch y'all later. Peace. Now I got to say peace again because it took me too long.